Morning, everybody, on this beautiful sunny Monday day. We've got a great business spotlight interview for us today. We've got Tim from Devtank. It's going to be a really interesting one. Tim, tell us all about your business.
Hello, Tim. Good morning. Also, Tim. So, Tim Squared today, I believe. My business is an interesting tech company based in Derbyshire, but we serve customers globally. We're here to serve the manufacturing community. So we make disruptive, smart tech solutions for manufacturers that want to either improve their production test capability or they want to monitor what's going on in their factory and try and make informed decisions and improvements to save energy or improve productivity. So it's all about supporting manufacturers with cost reduction, productivity improvement, or quality improvements as well. That's fundamentally what we do, and we do that with like electronics, hardware, and software solutions.
That's interesting. I was really interested because the one thing I would put just to dive into a little bit more, the word productivity.
Yeah.
So you'll actually go into engineering manufacturing businesses and increase their productivity. How do you do that?
Well, a number of ways we can do that. So one of our soft target areas is to identify manufacturers that are making volume products. If you're making a widget in a factory, if you're making anything that's got electronics or software inside it, you need to test it. You need to make sure it works functionally, it works electrically. It might need programming with software, and you need quality control. And you can't do all that manually. If you're making 1,000 EV chargers a week, let's say, for example, that's what one of our customers does, then you need to automate the testing and the collection of all that data. And then you need some tools to help you analyze the data and improve your yield and make sure products going out the door that are tested and working correctly before they reach the end customer. So that's a big part of what we do. And that obviously is feeding into productivity. You don't, I'm not on about sort of getting rid of jobs or anything, but people upskill and move elsewhere in the business. But the automation and test has to be automated. You can't do that manually because it's too prone to mistakes and error. And the other angle we help customers with is our Open Smart Monitor brand, where we're basically monitoring energy and productivity
Mhm.
in a business by looking at assets and machine tools and equipment that's being used during that manufacturing process. So if you know how much it costs to make a widget on a CNC machine tool, you might be able to do something about it. You might be able to turn that equipment off when it's not being used. You might be able to make more widgets per week with that particular machine tool. So they're the kind of examples of how we can help productivity, and ultimately that improves the profitability of the company, and it might reduce operating costs as well.
No, that's absolutely fascinating, and these sort of tools have to be used to actually drive not only productivity but obviously drive the bottom line as well.
Absolutely, yeah, that's what it's all about.
Absolutely, 100%. So we were chatting beforehand, and your background was Rolls Royce,
That's right. Yeah, yeah. I started
and
a career there. Yeah,
career there, engineer,
yeah.
etc. Did you always want to run your own business?
Yes, I think I did actually. So from an early age, I grew up with quite an entrepreneurial dad who'd run his own businesses, and he started off, I think, with a TV and radio repair shop in London many years ago. And I kind of got that instilled in me from an early age that you can do whatever you want if you set your sights high enough. And at the time, when I was at secondary school, I was going to buy pallets of computers, secondhand computers, actually, with my dad, and we were reselling them. We had like a small family IT business, and I was supporting my dad with that. So I was repairing and reinstalling PCs with Windows and things like that, and selling them through the local paper. Going to help fix up and repair local computers for people. Bit of website design. I turned my hand to anything, and I really got a buzz out of doing that and making my money initially. Myself.
That's absolutely brilliant. So, entrepreneurial background,
Yeah.
own business. How long has the business been going now?
We're about well, last year we were 10 years old, so this will be our 11th year. And in the early days, I think we were bumbling around for the first few years, trying to figure out what it was we wanted to do. Um, very much started as a sort of consultancy business, and we had our first customer through a close friend of one of our directors at the time, sort of word of mouth networking, and that turned into more work, and then further down the line, we ended up sort of growing the business and gaining more customers after that. As you know, the first customer was in the USA, and that was the only customer we had at the time, and then we grew out of there and
That's
started to get
absolutely
more
brilliant.
UK clients.
What a great story. Absolutely fantastic. So, with the benefit of hindsight, knowing what you do now, what would you do differently?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I think there was a bit of a eureka moment for me about 4 or 5 years into the business where I started to reach out and get more support. I've got some local mentoring through the D2N2, I think it was,
Yeah.
funding scheme at the time. Got someone to come into the business and start sort of pointing things out to me that I didn't necessarily knew that I didn't know. You don't know what you don't know sometimes, and it's my background was very much from a strong engineering perspective and not necessarily from running a business kind of mindset. And you do have to think differently. You have to be exposed to different things that you might never have seen before. Because for me, this was my first proper business, so learned a lot by looking at what other people are doing and having sort of experts and consultants come in and advise me. And I think if I'd started out again now, I mean, obviously I know a lot more than I did know when I started out. But for anyone new starting their own business, I would say, get that early support as soon as you can.
Brilliant. Absolutely fantastic. So, what do you see as the main challenges moving forward?
Main challenges moving forward. Well, there's a few for us. So I think sales and marketing still needs some improvement for us. We have grown organically through networking and word of mouth, and we've really grown our business team in the last 12 months. We've been sort of trying to polish our business models and our routes to market. And we want to sort of grow an e-commerce platform in the near future as well for our brand Open Smart Monitor, because it's got a strong SaaS business model behind it. So that's all about the numbers and the growth from volume sales. So there's quite a lot for us to learn and get right there, I would say. And then of course, as we're planning to grow, we've got ambitious plans to grow. We're looking to raise investment this year, so we're talking to external investors. And then there's a whole cash flow piece around that as well, around sustaining a bigger workforce and upskilling the team, and bringing more expertise in. So there's some of the challenges, I think.
Quite a few, and thanks for being so honest and open there. And I think that will resonate with a lot of business owners, to be honest with you. So how do you balance your personal life with the demands of running a business?
Um, that's a good question, and I can't confess to being particularly good at this. I think it's always been a challenge. It's something I've struggled to get right, particularly in the early days. I think when you're starting out with a new business, it can feel like all or nothing. There's a lot of pressure to get it right and to not go bust, and to keep the lights on. And I think what's happened over time, as we've grown organically and we've brought more expertise in, we've got a really competent team now around us. I can worry a bit less, and I don't stress as much as I used to. So I do try and switch off outside of work. I try and keep fit. I love the outdoors, and when I can, I like walking and cycling and those kind of activities. And also recently, I started Taekwondo training, which is a brilliant stress reliever. I recommend that to anyone. Something about it that just takes you out the zone, and you completely switch off from work. So anything that helps you switch off, really, I think is it works for me at least. I used to be a caver and potholer actually, and when I was underground, you really do switch off. You forget about everything on the surface.
Yeah,
So for me, those kind of things work and help, get me through.
brilliant. What a great story. Finally, what is the best advice you'd give to an 18-year-old you?
uh, I would say there's really nothing holding you back from your ambitions but yourself. Don't be afraid of the unknown. I think sometimes it can be a bit scary taking on a new business venture or doing something that you've never really had to do before and fumbling your way through that. But don't be afraid of the unknown. I think there's always people out. It's recognizing there's always someone out there who's been there before you, who can help you figure it out, and get yourself a personal mentor or a coach as well as soon as you can. And you don't necessarily have to have deep pockets for those kind of support networks either. There's a lot of support out there if you know where to look, fully funded in many cases.
Yeah, brilliant. What a fantastic story. Thanks for sharing that with us, Tim. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. No, enjoyed it. Thank you.